What's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports Dummies, the show where nothing makes sense, everything is wrong, and we don't have a clue what we're talking about. Thanks for joining us. Tonight's show is packed with all kind of good stuff. We're talking about the recap of the NFL, some big news in Indianapolis, some news for Thursday night, some picks we're going to do, and some college stuff. There is some huge news coming out of college right now. And before we get into it, let's welcome in Mike. Mike, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's happening? How you doing?
I'm
Good, good,
good,
good.
man. Yeah, I'm good too. I know that you have been, um, you are aware of the situation. I don't know how much you're reading, excuse me, reading into the situation at the current moment. But I am,
Just saw that there's
yeah, I'm kind of getting
involved
I'm getting
now.
all the updates. I'm getting all the updates. Okay. Um, here's what we're talking about, everybody. The interim coach, who now is head coach, he's been head coach for 2 years for the University of Michigan, Sharon Moore, and took over for Harbaugh. He was there through all the sanctions and everything like that that were handed down after the whole alleged cheating scandal. Funny that we use the word cheating at this point. Um, and things of that nature with the program. They ended up getting all the kind of sanctions from the NCAA. Sharon Moore is the guy that was put into place and kind of um, the heir apparent, right? The heir apparent to the throne here, right? To take the job. Michigan signed off on it. He became the full time head coach. Didn't do too bad with the team this year. Um, but it has now been determined, and earlier today, that he has been fired with cause from the University of Michigan, and the cause is that he had a extramarital affair with a staff member of the football team. I can only assume it is an underage type of thing because he was fired, he's been arrested, right? So this doesn't sound like it's a both parties are of consent, or both parties are of age, so to speak.
It doesn't
He's
sound like it at all.
no, he's 39, um, and the rumors are out there. From what I've already read, I mean, to me, they haven't. Nobody has come out and said what the actual charges are, right, or potential charges. But looking into the entire situation, it only seems like there's something of underage nature. Because in my opinion, if it's an 18, 19, 20-year-old woman, who cares if they had a relationship? I mean, it may be frowned upon the university, but as far as I know, I don't think that's illegal. Um, unless it was
If the authorities in, something happened. That's all I
Yeah,
have to say. I agree with you.
unless it's a student or something like that, it's still, I don't know if that's illegal, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know the laws in terms of that nature. I'm under the impression that if you're 18 or above, you're of legal age, right? Um, that's when technically they say you're an adult. I guess that's where, dicey fine line. Um, you know, so I don't know. I don't know at all. Again, I'm trying not to speculate. I'm only reading and seeing and trying to gather information as I see it. I'm even seeing one article stating that he paid for an abortion. So
I haven't gotten that deep. Wow. Okay.
yeah, I
So
mean, I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting all kind of information.
yeah.
And that's what happens when you're a part of the Twitter world. You get a lot of information. So I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not real. So I'm gonna just leave what I say into allegeds, because I'm not gonna go around being the one that said this is what happened when it didn't. So allegedly, um, he is being detained by police for a matter that needed to be looked at by police. So it's a serious matter if that's the case. Allegedly, and allegedly he had a extramarital affair with a staff member. What that means, I don't know. In terms of anything like that, whatever the case may be, it's a no. Don't do it. Um, you know, probably why he lost to Ohio State. Too many other things on it. I don't know. Trying to make a little bit of light of the situation that there's no light for, but yeah. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, interesting news that broke probably about 3 hours ago. So really interesting.
Yes.
So let's keep the ball in play here in college football while we're at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about the college football playoffs and the elephant in the room where someone's taking their football and going home.
Are you referring to Notre Dame?
I certainly am.
Okay, so for anybody that's not following, Notre Dame has potentially been left out of the college football um, playoffs, the CFPs. They have been left out, and they have opted not to play in any type of bowl game this year, which I can understand the whole take your ball and go home, because sure. I can also see the other side of this too, right? I'm going to play devil's advocate with you for about 30 seconds. The people that you want to see in the bowl game, the potential bowl game that they would play, won't play. Jeremiah Love, he won't play in a game, right? He's probably declaring for the NFL, so he's not going to play. He's automatically, going into pre-draft status. So a lot of the people that you want to see in that bowl game, you want to see play for Notre Dame in their last couple of games. You're not going to, plain and simple. So it's going to be a watered down Notre Dame team at best, right? The other side of that, too, in my opinion, is if you don't like it, pick different opponents. Be in a conference. Stop being independent. I understand that they got themselves a very lucrative NBC deal because they're an independent and they're a brand. I get that. But you can still be a brand in a conference. You can still probably have that TV deal in a conference. Maybe not because it's a conference and you have to have certain TV deals in place, but that also can mean that you can be the catalyst to help an ACC play their games on NBC if you join the ACC, or if you join the Big Ten, or if you join whatever conference you want to join. Okay, you want to go join the MAC? Go join the MAC. I don't care. All right, you'll be the winners of the MAC for forever, right? You want to go join the Mountain West? Same deal. You'll be the winners forever, right? Because you're always going to get the Excalibur talent anyway.
Right. So evidently they're in talks to the Big 12 to join them, which is fine and dandy. Bottom line is, you're crying to the ACC because they didn't put in a good word for you. Listen, the ACC's commissioner has 17 other schools to worry about, and guess what? The one team that did get in over you beat you on the field where it mattered.
Right.
Bottom line, Miami beat you head to head where it should count.
Let's not even talk about Miami at the moment either. Okay. Just I don't. College football is so broken.
Oh God! Broken. How did you get in when you didn't even get into your conference championship? I mean, amazing.
And how do you win your conference championship and not be in the playoff?
Right. Right.
No, I
I
understand
mean,
it. I understand that Duke was 7-5 in the championship game. I get that.
right.
Okay. But there's also been teams that have been 9-8 in the NFL playoffs that end up winning in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Right. Right.
If you're in, you got a shot. I don't give a shit who you are.
Right. Right. Well,
Now,
here's the thing. So the ACC put themselves in that situation by breaking into two conferences.
right.
And again, if you look deep into their tiebreakers, it's kind of like the MAC tiebreaker.
Yeah.
How they got into this championship game. It's almost insane.
Yeah.
But again, college football is broken. We know it.
You know, and I was
on the other side of Notre Dame. One other thing about Notre Dame. So now this comes into play, which none of us knew about. So next year, in writing, from the college football playoffs, if Notre Dame finishes in the top 12 rankings, they're in the playoffs regardless of what happens. They're automatically in. That's already in a bold rating. If they finish in the top 12 next year, they're in the college football playoffs regardless of what happens.
It's probably because if they're in the top 12, they're going to be in regardless because they're moving to 16.
That's my theory too. But this, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, this is already in play before this season, and they got no one know about this, which is insane.
To me, it almost sounds like a backhanded compliment, right?
Absolutely.
Don't worry, we'll put you in next year. If you make the top 12, you're guaranteed in there. Why? Because we're going to make it 16.
Right. Do I feel bad they're not in? No. You lost to Miami. Do I feel bad BYU's not in? Vanderbilt? There's other teams here who have a legitimate gripe. But you know what? These 12 teams are in. They earned their way in. There's an SEC bias, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you could easily say the BYU should be in there because of the fact that they lost two games, only 2 games. Now, granted, I understand it's been 2 games, but it was only to one person. They lost twice to Texas Tech. Right. They lost twice to Texas Tech.
Right.
So, I mean, how many times have we seen, we play our division, obviously we play everybody in our division twice. And you play a potential, let's say, for example, the Steelers and Ravens, right? How many times have they played each other in the season and, they have gone, they've split, or somebody has won both games. But when it comes to the playoffs, you think that the team that did better in the regular season is going to win the playoff game. That's not the case.
No.
What do we say all the time? Any given Sunday, any given Saturday. It doesn't matter who the hell you are. You can get it. If you have a bad day, you can get it. I think the one team that doesn't really deserve to be in here is Oklahoma. To me, they just didn't wow me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially towards the end of the season. I mean, I understand they got the wins and they got the notoriety and all that other stuff, but this isn't a popularity contest. At least it shouldn't be. And that's why the NCAA is broken, because it seems like that's all it is a popularity contest.
Right. The funny thing is, so everyone knew coming in that either Tulane or James Madison would be in. Well, they both got in.
Yeah.
And you know what? So be it. They won their conference. They earned it.
But that's how this should be. I don't give a damn what conference you come from. If you win your conference championship, you should be in the playoffs. After that, 1 through 12, you should then be put into a computer with analytics and take the bias out of it. Let it be an algorithm, right? Win percentages, points won by, all that stuff. Put all of that in digitally into a computer and tell the computer, rank these teams 1 through 12.
Right. Absolutely.
Total offense, total defense, special teams, everything from top to bottom. Rank these teams 1 through 12. 1 through 4, they all get buys. 5 through 12, they get paired up, they play. And then you can do your wild cards, right? If you don't have, because we don't have 12 conferences in the FBS. What do we have? 7 conferences, I think.
Yeah. There's something like that. I think there's more, but there's the Mountain West, the AAC, there's the Conference USA, so there's probably 10.
Okay.
But
So
the Power Four who get automatic bids, you would think, but guess what? It didn't happen this way because the ACC didn't get an automatic bid.
yeah. So
So,
what do we have?
um,
We have the Sun Belt Championship, which James Madison is a part of. So
right,
Sun Belt, I probably would have to leave Conference USA out because that's kind of showing Jacksonville State. I don't
right,
think. But here we go. Sun Belt, the AAC. That's where Tulane came from.
right,
Mountain West, Big 12, um, SEC, Big 10, and ACC. I left out the MAC and I left out the Conference USA.
right.
Okay. So there's seven right there. So there's your seven conference champions that are guaranteed to make the playoffs. Well, in my opinion, if you make the playoff game and you lose, you still get in, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that brings it to 14. And then after that is your two wild cards.
Yep. Well, I think we're heading in that direction. I think they have to have a vote before January 23rd to expand next year. And already numerous conferences are pushing for. Obviously, the Big Ten and SEC with more teams in.
Right.
The ACC jumped on board. The Big 12 jumped on board. So your big Power Four are all on board. So
Which
let's go.
it's gonna pass because
Right.
the hand that is heavy, wears a crown. They're
Right.
all wearing the crowns here. They're going to be the ones that are going to be pushing this narrative, and
Absolutely.
they have all the money too. So
Yes. Yes.
nobody really wants to watch Miami, Ohio take on Western Michigan for the MAC championship. I did
Right.
because I just love football, but you're
Right. Me
gonna
too.
if you put that on primetime TV, ain't nobody watching that shit.
No, unless you're a Red Hawk fan or a Bronco fan. That's it.
That's it,
Um.
which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, you got your seven big conferences, bigger conferences.
Right.
If you make the championship game, you're guaranteed in.
Right.
If
Well,
you
and this another argument we could sit there and have for hours is why Notre Dame sure shouldn't be in a conference. That's why I don't feel bad.
right, right,
Technically, in 17 sports, you are in the ACC. In
yes,
7 others, you aren't. Well, that's not our fault. That's
no,
your fault because
right,
you're a brand.
right,
So,
and you're trying to take all the money for yourselves.
exactly.
You
So,
know,
yeah.
but again, you do the seven that brings you at 14 teams, and you can have two wild cards that would eliminate. These other teams that are saying, well, we should be in, like the Vanderbilts. Vanderbilt probably would have made that wild card. Notre Dame would have made that wild card.
Right. Right.
BYU, you lost. Well, you would have been in because you were in your conference championship. So
Right.
there's that problem solved, right?
Right. Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and if this is the other case too, then play your conferences. Other than your rivalry games, the fuck with everything else. Play your conference. Why?
Yes, we talked this last week about them playing one
Yes.
double A team no one cares about.
No one gives a shit. For crying out loud, Alabama played Mercer and
Right.
beat them 56-0.
In
So
week 11, like, come on.
yeah, and then the next week they play Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Now again, you're not going to get rid of that game. The Iron Bowl
No.
stays. The Egg Bowl stays. Right?
Right.
I don't
Right.
care if they're in
Absolutely.
the same conferences or not. But what I'm saying is that you should be more focused on playing your conference. Now I understand,
Mhm.
like for example, the Big Ten has what, 15 teams in it or 12?
Now, since they expanded, I think 15 now. I think with the
15.
added teams from
Well,
right?
I'll give you a better estimate of that here coming up. But here's my point, right? When I talk about this, the teams that you don't play this year, you're guaranteed to play next year, plus your big teams, right? So like, let's say for example, the Big Ten. Why? Because I'm more versed in Big Ten than anything. Um, so you're never going to get away from Penn State and Ohio State. You're never going to get
Right.
away from Michigan and Ohio State. Those are
Right.
basically your rivalry games, right?
Right.
Those aren't going anywhere.
No.
Standings. Okay. But you're like, for example, Penn State didn't play Maryland, Purdue, Michigan State, um, Minnesota, Illinois, Washington. They didn't play those teams. So those teams are guaranteed on the schedule for next year, right?
That's what it should be. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because there's, Jesus, how many are there? I have to count them. I'll count on both hands. Okay, so there's 18 teams in the Big Ten now. Okay,
Wow.
18
Wow.
teams. Okay, um, and again, this is where now again, if you split these into two divisions, okay, then you would play your division. That's 9 teams. Plus, you would play 3 other games, right? Whether if you want to make them tune-up games, make them tune-up games. But then your winners of both conferences play each other, or both divisions play each other for the conference championship.
Right.
You play your people, play your people.
That's it.
You get in, right? This is going to mitigate what we had in the Conference USA title game, where
Yes.
it was, or no, the MAC
The
conference.
MAC.
Yes,
Yes. The MAC.
this is gonna mitigate the MAC conference sending a team that lost to both uh, higher seeded or higher placed teams and was still in a conference game. So,
Right.
in my opinion, you set this up in 2 divisions, 9 teams apiece. You kind of set them up. Um, you know, we kind of put a dividing line like around the Michigan area, right? And the teams that are left of Michigan, you're in a division. The teams on the right of Michigan, you're in a division, right? And then you can still have the Penn State versus UCLA, but it doesn't have to be every year.
Right.
Those
Right.
are ones you can rotate out every other year
Right.
or so. You know what I mean? And this would help keep the Big Ten fresh because you're playing different Big Ten teams. Again, some of these, like for example, Penn State has to play Ohio State, Michigan, Iowa, and Oregon, in my opinion, every year. So those four need to play at all times. The other 5 you can rotate around, and then
Right.
the last 3 make them SEC teams, right?
Right.
Because at
Well,
the end
yeah.
at the end of the day, what are we looking for, right? We're looking for the top 12 best teams to play in the national championship or
Right.
in a playoff, and then virtually the 2 best teams to play in the national championship. Do you remember what happened last year with the CFP? I remember exactly what happened. Do you remember that everybody in the first round got knocked out?
Yes, I do.
Or I'm sorry,
Every
everybody with a
team.
everybody one
Yeah.
through 4. If you were ranked 1 through 4, you lost your first game.
Yes. Yeah.
First round knockout
Yep.
for them. So,
Yep.
Kind of like, were those 4, should they have been there? I mean,
Right.
they won their conferences, so you should say, yeah, they should have been there. But in the same right, they all laid eggs. They all lost. And again, it
Right.
just goes to show you it's any given game, any given
Yep.
Saturday, every given Sunday. It does not
Yep.
matter. You can get got. It does not matter. So,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I know that there's so much money involved and billions of dollars and so many egos when it comes to this that will never get fixed. But to me, that sounds like one of the more reasonable ways to fix a very broken system, to make it kind of
Well,
fair all the way around. And then again, like I said, treat this like the BCS. Once you get into the playoffs, you put everybody into an algorithm, you put them into a computer, you take the human part out of it, you make it nothing but analytics, and you say rank these teams, and then the first 4 you get to buy, 5 through 12 you got to play each other. Have at it.
so real quick, last thing I want to say about this, I just took a gander at Notre Dame's schedule for next year.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
You ready?
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
And well, which is it? Wisconsin. Okay. Never mind. I'm
Okay.
thinking about something else.
Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, Syracuse, Stanford, and USC.
At least half of those games are bullshit games.
Yes, I would say they have 3 games that are 4 games that are actually quality opponents. The rest are pretty much shit. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to be playing a lot of ACC teams, and if that's the case, then join the ACC.
Well, that was one of the handshakes that they would play at least 3 or 4 a year.
Right.
Okay, but the thing is, they picked them, not the ACC. So now the handshake was Miami's playing because ACC said, okay, you're going to play Clemson, you're going to play Miami, you're going to play the tough teams.
Right.
Notre Dame said, wait a minute, we'll see what happens. So they ended up playing Boston College, Syracuse, because of the old Eastern 8 and Big East matchup they used to have, which is fine. But then ACC said, hold on, and they put Miami on the schedule this year. What happened? They lost. They have to play them again next year. So now I love every year they played USC because USC is always a great game to watch. They play Navy. That's a great game to watch. But these other teams, Rice,
right?
Come on,
right.
Purdue. Okay, they had one great year in the last 20 years. You know, Wisconsin's been bad for the last 4. You know, it kind of sucks. And Michigan State, they were good for years. They've just fallen on some serious hard times now. Now, here's another way you could fix everything. So, like you said, you play your conferences all the time. You just take it a step further with your extra 3 games. Maybe you do something like the NFL does. Your number 1 plays either number 2 or 1 from a different conference. So maybe your Ohio State, who wins the Big Ten this year, or Indiana wins the Big Ten, they go and play number 1 from the SEC next year. You know, I mean, just a little something like that. You know, yeah. I mean, and that's unfortunately the big conferences, but maybe they go and play Boise State. You know what I mean? It's a legitimate team, not a 1 AA team.
Right.
You know?
Schedule should not be made 3 or 4 years in advance. It should be made the year before.
Right.
To keep everything relevant, right? To keep it relevant. So they should be working on next year's schedule now.
Right. I mean,
after this season. Why? To keep it relevant. Why? Because the preseason said that Texas and Penn State were number 1 and 2. Well,
right.
That wasn't the case when we got through halfway through the year. So don't schedule Penn State when they're going to be on a schneid here and then for the next 2 years.
Right.
Year for sure, but probably 2 years, right?
Right.
So you're basically kicking them when they're down. You're taking advantage of it's funny we just said that, taking advantage of somebody, but you're taking advantage of the situation, knowing that they're kind of crippled, and they're saying, hey, let's play them now. This kind of gets the monkey off, or this kind of gets everybody off our back. Well, we played a Big Ten team, we played a top 25 team. It's not our fault that they we're on a 2-year schneid. It's not our fault that
right.
They lost all these players and going through a coaching change.
So within the last 4 days, so the Big Ten and ACC, the ACC are going to a 9-game schedule next year. They voted on the conference schedule as opposed to 8.
Okay.
So like teams are dropping opponents. For example, Wisconsin was scheduled for 2 years in a row. Well, they decided to stop it next year, but they're going to play again in 2027 and 28. They're keeping they're canceled 26, but they're going to play for 28. So both Wisconsin and Pitt are looking for opponents on that week. So again,
I don't understand that.
No, neither. To me, if you go on something, it usually doesn't come into play the next year. It usually takes 2 or 3 years to go after, especially with these teams. Like, why would you mess up a Big Ten ACC matchup? Right. I would get it if it was like 1 AA teams you're dropping from a schedule to get a bigger opponent. I would get that.
And it goes back to it. It's like well, if this team played that team, then we'd have a different story. It's like, well, then put your money where your mouth is. Let's put this team with that team and see what happens.
Exactly.
Why do we have to wait until the college football playoff? Why? Right. Because maybe this team might not get in because they lost this game and they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have played.
Right.
Oh well, it's football, baby.
Yep. Hey, we mentioned this last week. No one knew about Arizona State last year.
Nope.
guess what? They won their first round game and put a scare into Notre Dame that second game. So, and Cam Scotty will become a everyday name.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yep. I agree. I agree. Um,
yeah,
but again, the more we talk about it, is just more clarification that nothing will ever get fixed.
right.
Um, I'll save the Army Navy stuff until Friday when we talk about it. But
Yeah,
let's talk about the NFL for a little bit.
good.
Here's some news out of the NFL. The NFL has decided, they sent out this memo, so this is said and done. There's no voting on it or anything like that. The NFL has made the rule. The rule is in. The NFL draft for starting next year, 2026 in Pittsburgh. The first round will go from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. They are shaving time off of these picks to try to get this from a 4.5, 6 hour show to a maybe 3.5 to 5 hour show. Um,
Right.
I love it. I think
Me
it's
too.
great. Uh, you shouldn't you shouldn't be taking that much time to pick your guy in the first round. It's pretty simple. Everybody wants the number one guy. Well, guess what? If he goes number one, go to your next guy. You know, you wanted the guy that is ranked number two, and he goes number two. You take him off your
Next.
board. You go to the next guy. I mean, it
Yeah.
shouldn't take, and especially because let's say you get Schneid at 16, right? You're looking at your pick 16, and you want to take a quarterback. And the kind of like what happened in the draft this year. Everybody was looking at Jackson Dart, and he slipped down to whatever 18,
21. Yeah.
21, right? So
23. Yeah.
everybody's looking at him, going, "Oh, we might get him, we might get him, we might get him," and then he gets picked, right? So you're thinking, "Oh shit, now I got to regroup. What do we want to do now? What do we want to do now?" I can understand that team being the next pick being frazzled, but if
Right.
you're pick 31, you shouldn't be frazzled. You should have your
Yeah.
next 10 players ranked from
Absolutely.
1 through 10.
Glad you should try to look for him. Bottom line.
Yeah, like next
Yeah.
best, you know. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I like this. Uh,
I do too.
you know, I would even be opposed if they shave another 3 minutes off that and make it
I was
5.
gonna say 5 to me. Yeah, I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
so
Yeah.
um, I like it. So yeah, so that was also announced today. Another thing that we need to pay attention to, Mike, is that the NFL and NFL Referees Association's deal ends at the end of May of this year, or I should say 26. Um, there's going to be changes to the refs because the new collecting of bargain agreement will need to be approved before the start of the year, which I don't think they're going to drag feet. I think they're going to kind of, put some things in motion for both negatively and positively sets this game, sets them up for this. My opinion, you need to make them full time. That way you can
Agree.
train them
Yeah.
all year long.
Yeah.
Right now, the NFL cannot access referees from the day after the Super Bowl until May 15th. So for about 3 months, the NFL cannot contact the referees. So there's no training, there's no procedural look after. There's no film study. There's nothing that these guys are doing except their regular 9 to 5, 7 to 3 jobs that they get to go back to. Um, I don't understand why we don't make these guys full time. I know me and you, our stance is that yes, make them full time,
Absolutely.
make them go ref UFL, make them
Yep.
go, make them go on conferences and watch games, previous games,
Mm-hmm.
and officiate it and see what you did wrong and see what they did wrong and you know whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't see why we don't, because you figure the Steelers those trainers and stuff like that, they don't. As far as I know, there's no off season for them.
No, no,
Head coaches, there's no off season for them.
nope,
They may
nope.
take a vacation and take a break, but they're still doing football activities. They're still
Yep,
recruiting, or maybe not recruiting. Maybe they are. Knowing the guys are going to be in free agency, maybe they do. As long as it's not within the
tampering or anything. Yeah,
tampering
right.
period. Um, but I don't see why the NFL doesn't pay these guys. Now, again, that's going to come down to these guys. And again, I don't know what these guys are getting paid per game. That would probably be information that would be pertinent to what my argument is here. Um, but you're a $2.4 billion company, right?
Right.
I think it's okay if we pay these guys 150K a year
Mm-hmm.
to ref some games.
Yes.
You don't need to make them millionaires, but you certainly need
Right.
to pay them to the point where, hey, you know what? If you also pay these guys, it might be more incentive for you to get more guys in the pipeline that want to ref instead of,
Absolutely, I agree.
you know what I mean? Because some of these guys are, I hate to say it, but they can't move too well out there, you know?
Yeah, and that's the
So,
truth.
so yeah, there's my little NFL news recap. Um, Other news: the Jets, the Browns, the Falcons, and the Commanders are officially eliminated from the playoffs. Not a surprise. I think this weekend we also have some games where if teams win, they're automatically um, guaranteed to make the playoffs. So I think there's some things to look out for there. Um, Washington Commanders. We're just going to go down to some of my list here. We'll talk about it again on Friday, I'm sure. But
Right.
big big news out of Washington as far as injury related news, and that's Zach Ertz is gone for the year, torn ACL. And something to also look at is Jaden Daniels ended up hurting himself again. I don't know the severity of it, but it was enough for them to pull him and not let him play the rest of the game. So good call. Okay.
That was
Um,
on elbow again. He took a hit on an elbow.
yeah.
Um, for a team going nowhere, that made no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. They were what, 3-9 at the time. So,
Yeah.
that, that could be a good indication that they just shut him down for the rest of the year.
Yes. Totally agree.
You
Totally
know,
agree. Yep.
what do they say? Drop back and punt. So
Yeah.
that might be what they're doing this year. At least they should, especially since your number one guy, your borderline number one guy, Zach Ertz, is going for the year too. So
Right. Right.
why prolong it, right? Why prolong it? Fun news out of Seattle too. Mike McDonald, first head coach to go back-to-back 10-win seasons to start his career. The question is, uh, could he be the next great head coach? No, he has no championships to his name right now. Doesn't even have a divisional title, I think, to his name right now. But
And in a hell of a fight for one this year.
right.
So
So
yeah,
is he the next great one?
we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, obviously, time's gonna
Yeah.
tell all. But it's
Two
sure,
seasons is pretty impressive.
yeah, it's sure looking like it.
Yeah.
And so that's impressive. Um, and then let's talk about this before. Well, I'll do Vegas. Gino got a shoulder injury. There's a good chance he's not going to play on Sunday. So good old Kenny Pickett is going to take snaps against one of his former teams in Philadelphia
Right.
Eagles.
The reeling Philadelphia Eagles right now. Yeah.
Yes, the bad news bears, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And then the other big news that came out of the NFL that started, what I'm going to talk about.
Big news. Shocker.
Big
I actually
news.
thought it was a joke when my buddy texted it to me, and I'm like, Wait a minute. What?
Not a joke. It is not a joke, and I have more information on that too if you haven't heard. So first, let's start off why this is news. Well, number one, Danny Dimes tore his Achilles this past Sunday, and he walked off the field. Me personally, I didn't think he tore it because of that factor. I was like, there's no
And he
way.
looked pretty good walking off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
mean, he didn't have a limp, you know?
there's no way he tore it if he's walking on it like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, no, it was confirmed he tore it. He's already had surgery apparently, so he's done. You know, there's speculation he might not even be back for next year,
Right.
which I find hard to believe. Let me tell you why. Aaron Rodgers almost made a comeback return in 17 weeks, 16 weeks after having an Achilles tear. Why is it going to take Danny Dimes 7 months to come
Yeah.
back?
I mean, unless it was something they saw, I don't know, in the surgery.
You know,
but I'm not sure. I thought it was kind of awkward to hear that too.
Yeah, it's just that it doesn't compute. Math isn't mathing to me right now on that.
Right.
But anyway, who am I to say what you can and cannot do? I've never had it done. I never want it done. I hope I never get it done. So, and then that turns into talks with a former quarterback for Indy, and I'm not talking about Peyton. I'm not talking about Matt Ryan. I'm talking about Phil Rivers. Phil Rivers was in discussion with Indy to come back and play quarterback for the Colts. Well, it turned out that yesterday he signed a contract that made him the newest Indianapolis Colt. Signed him to the practice squad. He is in line to start on Sunday. If not, Riley Leonard is going to get the go, who was trained by Phil Rivers.
Yeah.
Okay? So here's the interesting part of this scenario. If you didn't know, number one, Phil Rivers has been retired for 5 years. Hard to believe, but it's been 5 years. Okay. The other part of that is that him and Shane Steichen have talked nonstop all year, and the reason why that is because Phil and Shane designed the current Indianapolis offense for this year. And to go even further, Phil was using that designed offense for his high school team that he coached and got to the state championship and lost.
Right. Right. Yep.
And it was funny because somebody had said, so you mean to tell me that the Colts are running a high school offense? Take it how you want to see it, okay? It's either the Colts are running a high school offense or a high school is running an NFL offense. Which one do you want to believe? Either way, it got this team to 8-4.
Right.
8-5 now, I believe. So he's probably the most qualified to run this offense.
Right.
Other than Shane Steichen himself, which I don't believe that Shane Steichen was ever a quarterback, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Well, first thoughts on this, like I said, I heard about it. I'm like, that can't be real.
That's real.
Second, I heard it was real. Third, I saw he signed. Fourth, I looked into it. Okay, and he played in Shane Steichen's system. They're friends. They talk often. He last played. He knows 20. He's played with 20 players in Indy. So very interesting. But I was talking to a friend of mine today, and you think about things. Number one, we all know the Anthony Richardson situation. He's still on IR from hitting himself in the eye with a rubber band, broken orbital bone. I couldn't tell you besides Riley Leonard who else is on their team as a quarterback. I have no idea. As
far as I know, that's it.
Okay. And this is just a wow factor for me because you're really going to have a 44-year-old guy who hasn't thrown a pass in 5 years start a game.
Well, I take that back. Is it I take that back. Is it Rippin? I can't
Oh, it's
remember.
Rippin. Yes, it is. It's Brett. Yes, it is. It is Rippin.
Rippin.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to the depth chart now. Um, yeah, it's Riley Leonard, who is slotted in as the starter, and Brett Rippin, which is the backup.
Right.
Obviously, Richardson and Daniel Jones are both on IR. One of them has to get dropped, or I should say, somebody has to get dropped somewhere in order to make room for old Philly Phil to come in. Uh, Boy, they got a lot of hurt guys here. Now that I'm looking at this, a lot of hurt.
Yeah. So they were the darling of the NFL 5 weeks ago, and now they're fighting for their playoff lives in the AFC. So
And the AFC South has turned into quite
oh,
the quite the juggernaut, especially with
right.
Houston. Right, Houston has been
Yes.
on fire, head
Yes.
and shoulders, head and shoulders better. The best defense in the league right now, head and shoulders.
Yes. They're scary.
The problem is that that defense is so good. Can you imagine what that offense would look like from 2 years ago in this team?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Right.
I
Right.
it'd be hard not to say Houston's going to win the Super Bowl,
Right.
you
Right.
know. But their offense still does struggle, and
Yeah.
if it wasn't for their defense, Houston wouldn't be where they are.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'm worried for Phil and Cole. Now, granted, you can't take away from what Chris Ballard is trying to do over there in Indy, because
Right.
he's saying to himself, "I got a team. I got a team. I just need somebody who's worth a damn to throw
Right.
the ball around. Right? I got one."
So I was thinking about that yesterday after I heard all this. So I'm thinking to myself, you have guys like Russell Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
who's sitting there the third in New York, not being dressed. You got guys like even Joe Flacco now, but they're not going to move him because Burrow's injury prone. But wow, you're telling me now 40-year-old Phil Rivers your best option?
That's
I guess so.
What
Yeah.
What does that say to Brett Rippin and Riley Leonard?
Right. Right.
Like, hey, we know you guys are good, but we're gonna bring in this guy that hasn't played in 5 years.
I mean, this guy was up for Hall of Fame balloting. Come on.
Yeah.
So
Is that? I mean, that's got to take his name off the list
it does.
again.
Now he can't be on the voting anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's got to wait another 5 years to get eligible again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could have said no, right?
Listen, obviously he wanted this too. So
That's what I mean. He could have said no.
So,
And
right.
who knows? Maybe he comes in and he's just a glorified backup, right? To be another coach to Riley Leonard. To say, hey,
Right.
look, you got this. You can do this. Like, we practice this all the time. Because again, he trained Riley Leonard. Apparently they live right down the street from each other. So they work out all the time.
Right.
It's just a bad move that all of a sudden, Riley Leonard also shows up on the injury report too, with I think a knee or an ankle or something like that. But
Right.
boy, we live in some wild times. Phil Rivers coming back in 2025 was not on my bingo card.
Not at all, man. Not at all.
No. So yeah, that's where we're at. I don't know what else to equate that. All right, let's look at some yesteryears, and let's look at some of these games that have happened already. Week 14. A couple of these games stand out to me. Cincinnati and Buffalo in the snow. Two teams that don't have a defense, and that was a slop fest all the way. But again, there was no defense played in this game, and how could you with how sloppy it was, and the weather conditions and everything like that. Me personally, I thought it was going to go the opposite way. It tends to be that when these snow games happen, It ends up going the higher route. I went with the lower route. Um, they went over 70 points in this game. Uh, so that's a weird one. I told you all Tennessee was going to win outright against Cleveland. That happened, 31
Yeah.
to 29. Uh, let's talk about the fact that you're going to pull Shador Sanders, who's threw for 364 yards, went down and got the game tying, or I should say, well, kind of the go ahead
It would have been,
score. Would have been a tying if you had got the 2 point conversion. But marches the team down the field, gets the touchdown, and then for the 2 point conversion, you pull him out and run a wildcat.
and not to mention, on the Wildcat, Judkins forgets to flip the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, just totally zones out, doesn't flip it, and gets tackled for a 3-yard loss, and you lose the game. Like, I don't understand that. I don't,
I mean, you say this all the time. People say this all the time. You put the ball in the hands of your best player, right?
Right. Absolutely.
I'm not saying that Judkins is not your best player.
Right.
But for a guy who just threw for over 350 yards and marched your team down the field to get the touchdown to potentially tie the game, and you're going to pull him off the field.
Right.
With no trust in him.
Right. And you put
I don't see that.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't get that.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Just poor coaching. Just poor coaching. That's all.
That organization is just sell the team, Doug. Sell the team, Doug. Okay.
Right.
Kick them off the tour, Doug. Okay. Get them out of here.
Yeah.
I just
absolutely.
I can't. Like Cleveland fans have to be losing their shit. I mean, I'm not saying that they were going to be, great this year. They had all the potential of being who they are because they had so many questions when it came to the quarterback situation. You knew that the team was going to be shite all year long.
Right.
But to have some semblance of hope and the ability to cheer for your team. I mean, there's no way that this guy's back next year, right? Stefanski's done, right?
Here's the thing that they have going for them. They drafted really well. Isaiah Bond, Judkins, Fannin, Shador if he hits. So you have 4 guys offensively to build around. Why would you want to keep Stefanski around? I don't know. To me, you start just like clean with these young guy, young core, and you go from there. You have a defense that can win right now. They're that good. They just had an off day against Tennessee.
That's why I'm saying you got to get rid of this head coach. You got to get rid of Stefanski. Get him out of there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. We'll give you Tomlin on the cheap.
Give him to you free.
Give him to you.
Half a bologna sandwich. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Give us the last pick of the draft for Tomlin.
Right.
What is it?
Give us Mr. Owen.
Yeah. What is it? The 7th 227? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Something like that. Whatever.
But yeah. Mr. Owen. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant. But whatever that number is, 227, 234. I don't know what the 232. I don't know what the actual draft number is. But get somebody. Go get. Try to go steal a coach from the college ranks. Go try. Right. I'll tell you what. Even better. Okay, we'll give you Terrell Austin. Okay, you can have him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let Artie Smith go and run that organization. Okay, we'll give you him. Okay?
Right.
We don't care. Apparently, all we need is Mike Tomlin as our head coach and our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. That's all we need. And Danny Smith to run our special teams. That's it. That's all we need. Okay, 2 coaches. Get rid of the rest. And the reason why I say that is because Mike Tomlin's the only one coaching anyway, apparently.
Right.
Artie Smith's not allowed to coach because Tomlin won't let him. Same thing with Terrell Austin. So, yeah. Did JJ come back this week? This past week?
Uh, yeah, he played. He threw three
Okay.
touchdowns.
Okay. I was gonna say
Yeah,
they blanked the Commanders 31-0.
yeah, he threw three touchdowns. Odd game. Justin Jefferson only two catches for 11 yards. Um, JJ had a good game. I still don't see him as their quarterback of the future,
Well, Mike,
but they're going.
that brings me
You
to
know,
my next. Yeah.
he's gonna give they're gonna give him it's his football team. So you know,
Which is bad because if you were a good quarterback, you would figure some type of way to get Justin Jefferson the ball more than twice.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
um, I mean, look at look at Devontae Adams inside the 10-yard line,
right,
in
money
the
to
red zone.
right,
He's got what 14 touchdowns on the year.
yeah,
Do you think for 1 second any of one of those teams thought to themselves, "We're just we're just not going to do anything"? Right?
right,
They're all trying to game plan to stop him.
mm-hmm,
But what happens? A good quarterback recognizes what the defense is going to do, audibles, and tells him what to do in response to that.
right,
So he might only have 3 catches in a game, Devontae Adams, but they're all for touchdowns.
yeah,
So guys don't really give a shit how many yards they have and how many catches they have. They care about how many touchdowns they get. You know,
right, right,
the only other times that they give a shit about how many catches they get or how many yards they get is when they have those elevators
contract,
in their
yes, in
contract.
the contract,
You
yeah,
know, which again is
yeah,
understandable. But
yeah,
how are you not trying to offensively game plan for Justin Jefferson? He's the best team. He's the best player on your team,
yeah.
and
I
we're
don't
we're
understand.
we're only giving him the ball twice a game, if that. Come on now, you guys
Yeah,
got to do better. KOC, you got to do better, buddy. To go from a coach of the year nominee to dog shit, it's a pretty drastic drop.
yeah, yeah.
Saints and Bucks. Saints pull it out. Are the Saints building for next year, and are they going to be good? To me, it kind of looks like
They're interesting. They've been winning. It's funny you say it. So they're winning without their big guys.
it. Right.
They're winning without Alvin Kamara. They're winning without Chris Olave the last few weeks, not putting up big numbers.
Right.
And they're playing good football against good football teams.
Yeah.
So I give them credit. Do I think Tyler Shuck is their do it all quarterback of the future? I don't. But who knows? I mean, listen. The guy's put in two or three solid outings in a row. So you
Got to
know,
got to win over the
football game. They're
yeah.
actually not even that. They're competitive every game. It seems.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, they kind of stripped that team down to nothing, and they're going with a lot of youngsters. And guess what? They're putting in some great time this year. So maybe this Saints team will turn around quicker than we expect. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still putting on this season for them, but
Oh, me
next year
too.
next year
Listen,
looks really good, especially if Tyler plays like he is now.
right. I mean, it looks like they have a young, promising running back in Neal who had two
Right.
strong, pretty good games. They have Olave and they have this kid. What's his name? Delay. Now the rookie wide receiver. He's had two nice games. They have a solid tight end in Johnson. And their defense is a bunch of no-name guys who are playing pretty well. I mean,
Right.
it's pretty interesting to see what's going on there. It's almost like a microcosm of what we're seeing in Carolina. You know, Carolina they're Carolina. All of a sudden they're pretty legitimate right now as a wild card. I mean, a wild card Frank. I didn't expect them to be this good. Matt did. He thought they'd be this good. But it's interesting how they're doing with players that we didn't expect to be competitive whatsoever, and they're winning. So it's pretty interesting. I still think it's a long way to go, but it's promising for them. So
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, Tampa Bay and Carolina the are tied
Right.
um, in the division. They're both 2-1. They're both 7-6. New Orleans kind of played a little bit of a disaster in Tampa Bay, like really getting out ahead of Carolina. Now this is going to come down to the wire probably with Carolina and Tampa Bay,
Right.
which
I mean,
I'm
Tampa
here
has a
for.
huge tomorrow night.
Right.
I know both Mike Evans and both wide receivers could possibly sit up tomorrow, which is interesting. To add to Godwin and
Yeah.
Ibuka, which
I
is
was
good for them
actually
and Bucky
I
Irving.
was I was going to get to that, but yeah. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Atlanta and New Orleans are mathematically eliminated already. Um,
Right.
so is Arizona. I mean, I gave four teams off the top, but there's way more than four.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, the Falcons, the Saints, Commanders, Giants, Raiders, and Tennessee, Cleveland, and the Jets are all officially eliminated. Um,
Right.
so yeah, it's going to be interesting in the South, in the NFC next year.
Yep.
That's going to be probably next year's or this year's NFC North, right? Because right now there's a dogfight in the NFC North, and
Oh,
everybody is still at play. Even the 5-8 Minnesota Vikings, who are not mathematically eliminated yet, but probably will be soon here.
right.
I think one more loss here, and they're officially out. Um,
Yeah.
because I think what is it? It's always the race to 10, right?
Yeah, that's
And
what it seems. Yeah.
yeah, and they're 5-8. So if they lose this weekend, I think their chances are done. So we'll see how that goes. The next game is the Colts and Jaguars. Again, not a surprise here, especially considering the fact that Danny Dimes got hurt. Um, not that far into the game, and they still ended up getting 19 points out of that. But the Colts just don't have any luck in Jacksonville. They just don't. There's some kind of curse that they have in Jacksonville. It just does not let them win at all
3-17 in their last 20.
in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they got to play them again at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But at least that time it's at home. But still, the Colts probably have one of the hardest 5 game stretches coming up in all of
Right.
football.
Mm-hmm.
They got to play Houston. They got to play Jacksonville. They got to play Seattle. And I think there's one other team in there that's like in the top 10 defense wise. I know Seattle. I think Seattle's their next game. Uh,
Yeah. So their remaining schedule is at Seattle this
yeah,
weekend,
yeah.
San Francisco at home on Monday night, Jacksonville
That
at
was
Houston.
Yeah, that
I
was it.
mean, wow.
That's San Francisco, and San Francisco is like number 5 or something like number 8 or defense or something like that.
Right. Right.
Jacksonville's like number 11, and obviously Houston's number 1, and
Right.
Seattle I think is number 3 or something like that. So yeah, they don't have a very good easy path to. They're probably not going to make the playoffs now, to be honest with
Doesn't look like with that big injury. I mean, I don't know.
you. And
I just don't see it either.
I don't see you be able to put that much faith to Phil Rivers to get you 2 out of these 4 wins, 2 out of these 5 wins. Like, I just don't see that. I really don't. So there's a good chance that they've won their last game. So
Mhm.
that's tough for Indy, man. You were number one in the NFL, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Now you're just not anymore. And then
As we're speaking, I'm just reading. Georgia announced that they and Louisville agreed to cancel their game next year to start the season. So another big home and home start of a matchup canceled.
Who?
Interesting.
Louisville and who?
Georgia.
Whoa, that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeesh. Well,
Yeah. So we'll fall talked about
yeah.
before. So.
And then probably what the game of the weekend to Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers. Green Bay was up what 21-0 at one point, and
I think 21-7.
something like that.
Hell of a game. Hell of a game.
Yeah, great game. Packers ended up pulling it out, winning that one. But nonetheless,
intercepting Williams in the end zone
yeah,
on the last drive of the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
good Monday night game. Eagles and Chargers. Chargers end up eking out that win in overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
19-19. They Chargers get the ball, kick the field goal, and then intercept the ball at like the 2-yard line to end the game. Good game. And then the last game we're going to talk about. Heartburn. Steelers and Ravens. I hate the fact they won. It's just a stay of execution for me. Right? Tell me, why is it okay? Why is does Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh, sorry, does Mike Tomlin and which one is it, Jim or John?
John. Yeah.
Does Tomlin and Harbaugh have this deal when they're both on the fucking hot seat that, hey, if I let you win here, I'll get your name off the hot seat? It seems that every single year that one of these guys are on the hot seat, and then they play each other, and then they win, and then the chatter kind of goes away.
Again, yeah, we talked about this last week. The game came down to what I expected. Always a close-knit game between the two.
Yeah.
A few things stood out for me. Aaron Rodgers played his best game as a Pittsburgh Steeler for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, he looked phenomenal. DK had a great game.
Finally.
Yes, finally.
And that's what he should be doing every game, but
Right. Now listen. Was it because they activated Adam Thielen and MVS and sat Roman Wilson? Two vets came in and helped. I don't know. I'm not sure. I tell you what, the offensive line looked pretty damn good. They stuck what they were doing. They kept throwing the ball longer than 5 yards. The one thing I didn't know until watching the game, Baltimore only pressures quarterbacks at 21%, last in the league. And boy, they talk about a team needs a pass rusher.
And the
Steelers took advantage of that. Wow.
There's a reason for that. The reason why is their front four are not good.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And that's why that they don't have those. That's why they're 21%. They're not good. They cannot get to the quarterback.
No, it was shocking to me how they lacked blitzing the Steelers. They kept trying to get home with 4 guys, and I saw 5 guys a few times. But every time that happened, the Steelers picked them up, even with, some key guys got hurt for us. Darnell Washington got hurt with a concussion.
Yep.
We had our who went out offensively for us. The other tackle went up. Dylan Cook had to come in after starter. The guys replacing who was it? The guy replacing Broderick Jones got hurt.
Okay.
Number 71, he got hurt.
There's so many different guys' names on the offensive line. I can't keep track of them anymore.
Right. Dylan Cook came in and played well when he was in there. It just. But the one thing I'm going to go back to, boy, that defense can't stop the run. Another 200-yard output by the Ravens. Again, the Ravens. If I'm sitting here, I'm kicking myself, going, "Why did I stop running the football?" They really stopped running the football. You know, Lamar, James Pierre, hell of interception on Lamar.
Yep.
You know, two huge calls. One that I thought was legitimate, the Aaron Rodgers non-interception because he did have control of the ball and was knee down. The second one, I was shocked by it, but it's the right call. He didn't make a football move. It was hit out of his hand. Great play by JPJ. Still going to knock the ball out. It's funny because it was 2 weeks in a row where Isaiah Likely thought he had a touchdown, but he got taken away. And guess what? The one thing that I was laughing about was no kicker for the Ravens. Always seem to kill us, missing an extra point.
Loop.
Yeah, Loop missed an extra point. So pretty interesting game, kind of like what I expected, but some positive. But again, like you said, I watched it, didn't expect them to win. They won. Do I feel any better about the team? No.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
It just pisses you off even more because it's like if your offense can look this good against one of our bitter, formidable rivals who knows us front to back to front, and you can move the ball on them this well, why in the hell are we doing this to other teams?
Thank you. And the thing, yeah, I don't understand. I mean,
and the other thing that we talk about too is that everybody knows what Tomlin's going to run on defense because that's his ego and he thinks that he's better than everybody and this and that, whatever. Did Harbaugh just think to himself, I'm not going to take the gimme, I'll figure it out?
You mentioned that. I don't remember them throwing over the middle much against us.
Right.
And I was baffled by that.
Yeah.
I think Mark Andrews had like 2 catches. I mean,
I don't know. It hurts. It hurts my brain.
Yeah.
The one thing that I predicted to happen didn't happen, and that was Lamar to go over 100 yards. He barely ran again.
He's definitely hurt.
There's something going on with him.
There's something going on there.
Going on.
I mean, Tony Romo kept saying, "Oh, he looked explosive." No, he didn't. He made 2 or 3 nice plays. He made nice reads to make runs.
Only thing,
we were playing him when he was healthy. He was a threat to break those runs for touchdowns every time.
Right. And
I was never scared, about him breaking anything.
There was a few times. There was a play in the end zone that he had a wide open.
Oh, you're right.
That he could have ran, and he decided to throw it.
Yes, I do remember that play.
In my mind, the only thing that I can think about at the time being is the fact that he has no incentives to run the ball in his contract.
I just think it's an injury. I really do. One time looked like his. It could be a hammy still. I'm not sure, a groin, because he didn't look like he was full speed a lot of the time. I don't know, but I don't know. Something's going on there. But so here we are, Steelers fans. We won that game. If you're Baltimore fans, wow, your team is not good right now.
I mean, they're calling for Harbaugh's head too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this Sunday's game against Cincy's a make or break for this team. If they lose, they're done.
They're saying that there's 3 teams in our division right now that all could be losing a head coach.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It should be 4, but
should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
Right.
Yeah, but again, like what did I say at the beginning? Just a stay of execution. That's all this is.
Yep.
And they're going to go into next week and they're going to look like absolute dog shit.
H going to run for 200 himself. So
and that's the other thing too, right? Looking at the preview for Monday night, and their Steelers are playing. Newsflash for everybody, if you didn't know this, Steelers are playing Monday night against the Miami Dolphins in Pittsburgh. I gotta say, Miami was fine in New York.
Oh, right. Right. It
And
was 40 degrees though. It was 40 degrees.
it was
It's
a
gonna
little.
be 8 on night.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be Monday night, so I don't know what the weather is forecast for at this point.
Right now the forecast is supposed to be 13 degrees at kickoff. So
Yeah,
yeah, they're gonna see the
so my
northeaster.
theory, yeah, my theory to go against the Dolphins on cold days didn't work last week because obviously it was
Right.
40 degrees, but this week may be into play.
Yeah.
Which I don't even want to take the Steelers still, but probably going to anyway. But
Right.
the Steelers are also wearing their color rush jerseys as well. So
Right. Which I love. Yeah.
the all blacks
Yeah.
with the yellow numbers and stuff. So cool, I guess. But yeah, still I still don't think they're gonna win now. But
Here's the thing: they're gonna get a lot of people. They're gonna win, and people are gonna go, "Oh my god, they're 8-6," and blah, blah, blah. They're gonna go to Detroit and get their ass into town,
oh god, yeah.
37-10, and it's gonna be like, here come, are you shocked? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. You know,
Just thinking to myself though, this is so pitiful. The Steelers are gonna win the division.
they could.
I think they do now. With the
I'm
win
not
over,
gonna go that far just because I've
with
seen
the
too many
win, but listen,
teams.
with the win over Baltimore, I think it works. And I think Cincinnati beats Baltimore this week too.
I do too. Unfortunately, I mean,
Yeah.
fortunately, I do. But yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
And we play the Ravens the last game of the year. We still have to play. Uh,
Cleveland and Detroit.
Yeah, we played Cleveland and then Detroit, and then there's one other team, right? Or no?
No, that's it. 17 games.
Yeah, it's Miami, then Detroit, and then I
Detroit,
think
Cleveland,
Cleveland
yeah.
and Baltimore. Okay,
Right.
so 2 divisional games to end the year. Okay. Unfortunately, I think the Steelers win probably 2 of them.
Probably. That's no saying. I said this last week. 9-8. Like.
Yeah, what are we at?
We
now?
are who we are.
Yeah, what are we at now? 7-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-8. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I wanted that losing season in the worst way. I hate the fact that we're gonna win. That's terrible. That is terrible. Shit. All right, let's get into Thursday night. Thursday night, you got Atlanta go into Tampa. I would say a huge divisional game, but it's not. Atlanta's already out. They can play spoilers though, so Atlanta's going to get. Let me double check to make sure that these numbers are still good, because this number has moved a little bit previously, and it hasn't moved at all, so that's good. That number is still. Atlanta is getting 4.5, and the over under is set at 44.5. Mike, you had said this earlier. I'm going to reiterate it. Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan are questionable to play in this game, meaning that they are healthy enough to practice. They looked good, and now they are more than likely, from what I'm seeing. I understand that they're questionable on the injury report, but it looks like they're going to play on Thursday night.
Yep.
So huge deal for Tampa Bay, and Atlanta doesn't get any better for them. Drake London is out; he is not playing in this game either.
They must cut him down.
Yeah, I mean, is this like the second or third year that Drake London has been unattainable towards the end of the season because he's been hurt?
Yep.
Like, for Atlanta, it might be time to move on. For Drake, it might be time to move on. Go find somewhere else. But the problem is that nobody's going to want to hire you, and if they do, it's not going to be for a lot of money.
Right.
Because you're injury prone.
Right.
Maybe it's the surface there. Maybe it's taking its toll on them. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, Drake is not doing well. Being an NFL pro this year, or years prior, just because of the fact that it's hard for him to finish the season.
Right.
Um, with that being said, I think I think it's a no brainer for me. I'm taking Tampa Bay and I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the playoffs start this week for Tampa Bay, and Baker needs a big bounce back game in a big way from the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Getting Mike Evans to me will only wake up Igbuka a little bit more. Um, Bucky Irving has definitely helped that offense, but they are like they're losing every game 20-17, 23-20. You know, just give me the Bucks. I think they're going to put a 30 themselves, maybe 30. I think it's a blowout game. Give me
Yeah.
Tampa Bay in the over as well.
Okay.
Why are you not eating dinner anymore?
So with that,
You're not hungry. I'm
there's
not gonna force you to eat.
there's not much else going on until we get to Friday, and then
Right.
after that, there. Oh, actually, to be honest with you, we can pick one more game, and that is the Friday game for the FCS quarterfinals playoffs. The reason why is because that game starts at 9 p.m. on Friday. So chances are we'll end up forgetting about it and we won't pick it. So we can just pick it now.
Yes.
Let me double check because I had to take these lines from FanDuel because I didn't see these lines anywhere else. And I had wrote down these lines either yesterday or the day before. So I have to double check to make sure that this line is still good. And Friday, here we go. Okay, this line is still good. Steve Austin has moved on in the playoffs, and they're going to play Montana State. Montana State is giving 11 and a half, and the over
Wow.
under, yeah, and the over under is set at 51 and a half. Also, here's what I am proposing for our new super dog.
Okay.
Just pick a team and a spread. You get the spread if your team wins, just like we were doing with you before. So it doesn't have to be these large spreads. It could be any spread. If you win it, you win it, right?
Okay.
And I say that because I screwed myself. Okay, should have made this for last week.
Yeah, I know.
And the reason why I say that is because my super dog, even though they only lost by 8, and they were like 28 and a half point underdogs. And I would have I would have done a lot of catching up to Matt. Matt ended up winning his. He only got 5 points though. So I think we propose you just take a team, you take their spread. If you like them, you pick the underdog. If you win, you get same thing as before. Nothing changed. It doesn't have to
Right.
be it doesn't have to be 10 and a half, right?
Right.
So I think we propose that for next week.
I like it.
Okay. So then back into this.
What was the spread and the over under in this one?
11 and a half.
Okay.
51 and a half. So
wow.
Steve Austin is getting 11 and a half. So let me just tell you what happened last week. Montana State played Yale and beat them 21-13, and Montana State was giving them 27 and a half. Steve Austin played last week, and they played Abilene Christian, and they were giving 4.5, and they beat them 41-34.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes. And to go a little bit further, your favorites to win the FCS national championship is Montana State at plus 130.
Wow. Okay.
Your second in line is Tarleton State
okay.
at plus 170.
All right.
Montana plus 500, UC Davis plus 1600, Illinois State plus 2200, Steve Austin plus 2200.
Well, I have my pick. I had it before that. I'm definitely taking Montana State. 51.5. That seems like a lot, but these teams seem to play. These games always end up crazy. But I think Montana's gonna have Blizzard probably. I don't know. So I'm going under.
Going under. I'm going to go over, but I'm taking Steve Austin.
We taking Stone Cold.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because Yale was supposed to be a bigger underdog than Steve Austin is now, and they kept that game within 8 points. So I'm going to take the 11.5.
Okay.
Again, do I think Montana's going to win this game? Sure.
Right.
But I think Steve Austin can get within 11.5. So there's that. So with that being said, Mike, that's all the games that we can really pick right now. Next week will be a different story. We have some Tuesdays, some Wednesday games because of bowl season is upon us. Getting into obviously we have the Army Navy game, which I'm excited to watch because that's a big deal. Most of the bowl games, I'm sorry, all of the bowl games are set and ready to go. So, couple notable games that we're gonna be able to pick. Michigan and Texas. Be interesting to see how that one goes. Oh, let's see here. I know. Well, there's. Oh, yeah. Pitt and East Carolina. Yeah, great for them. Penn State and Clemson. That should be a decent game. Two kind of shitty teams this year.
The one thing I want to say about it, so 10 teams opted out.
Yeah.
Of playing bowl games. So
yeah, Vanderbilt, Notre Dame are two of them.
Right. Kansas State, and Iowa State are two others.
Yeah.
So you have 4 teams there with over 8 wins, 7 or 8 wins. So I heard a proposal that might be going through. If you opt out of a bowl game, you don't get to play one next year. Which I kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, a lot of people say all these bowls are garbage anyway. No, they're not. I'm curious to see like Kennesaw State play whoever they're playing because I've only seen them play once.
Kennesaw State's going to play Western Michigan.
Right, I want to see that game. I want to see Toledo against Louisville. I want to see some of these teams that we don't get to see on a regular basis where we're going to see players that are going to be playing on Sunday. You're going to go, damn, these kids are good.
Right.
So, I mean, I just don't like the fact that a lot of these teams opted out for reasons I understand. No coaches was one of them.
Yeah.
Brand new coaching coming in. Others just opted out. Just the Notre Dame thing just chased my ass. I'm sorry, it does.
Yeah.
That just pisses me off. So
here's a bowl game that I'm really looking forward to watching, and that's Georgia Tech versus BYU.
Oh, that should be a good one. Yeah.
Right. Should be. It's the Pop Tarts Bowl. Virginia versus Missouri.
Yeah, I mean that's another one. Yeah.
USC and TCU. Oh, I'm sorry, Vanderbilt is playing. It's Iowa versus Vanderbilt.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
I didn't realize. I thought Vanderbilt opted out, but they didn't. Yeah, so there's definitely some games here that are going to be interesting to watch. Arizona State versus Duke. They're both 8 they're both 8-win programs here. It should be, right now this game's a coin toss. between who's
Right.
going to win. There's not a whole lot of games here that have ridiculous spread, which,
No.
good job to the College Athletics Association for doing us a favor and not putting two teams that are going to just blow it out. Somebody's going to blow it out
Right.
of proportion.
Yeah.
I think the worst lines of this entire college football postseason is Ole Miss and Tulane, 17 and a half.
Right.
Oregon and James Madison, 21 and a half.
Yeah.
And then the next one that's that high is,
I think Nebraska, Utah, right?
Nebraska and
15.5.
Utah, which is 15 and a half.
Right.
So,
I mean, I think they great job matching these teams in bowl games too.
right. Yeah, which, again, it looks great.
Yeah. Listen, and let's real quick. Next Friday, while we're on, the college football playoffs will start with number 9 Alabama at Oklahoma.
Next week.
Yes, next Friday night.
Yes. So again, we'll be picking that game Tuesday next week.
Right.
So a week from today, we'll be picking that game.
Yeah.
We'll also be picking Kennesaw State, Western Michigan, Memphis, and NC State as well.
Right.
Not to mention, we'll also be picking Missouri State, Arkansas State. That's a Thursday game. Old Dominion, South Florida, Louisiana, Delaware. That's a Wednesday game. Troy, Jacksonville. That's a Tuesday game. We'll be picking that on Friday. So, and then Friday we have two other bowl games that are going to be played on Saturday. We're going to have to pick. So we're going to be picking college. Like I said, we're going to be picking college games until the college football playoff, or the college football national championship, which is until January 19th. So
yeah, which I love. Yeah, I love that.
We're not just stopping it just because the regular season's over. We're going the whole way.
No.
Like, why not? Why not? Right?
Why not? Yeah, I know. I've looked into. I'll probably start picking tonight, tomorrow, or the weekend for the bowl game bonanzas. That's on ESPN or CBS Sportsline has a free one just to pick them. Yeah, we do. There's ones with the spread. There's ones you get 10 points per win. There's one, there's a lot of different ones. So it's a lot of fun to do.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah.
So, all right then. So, since that's the case, we have our picks. I'll send these over to Matt. There's not as many for him to choose from this time. So, with that being said, we are going to wrap for tonight.
Yep.
We will reconvene on. Like I said, we were going to be back on Friday. We'll have a full slate of people here. So, with that being said, Mike, do you have any final thoughts or anything like that? You wanted to get
actually
out there?
Just pretty excited for the start of bowl season to start. To be honest with you,
I agree.
We
have to suck up our last little semblance of football before it disappears in a month.
Yeah, which sucks. Yeah.
It's the best and it's the worst time of the year.
It is because it's coming to the end in February.
No,
February 8th sucks. Yeah.
We're getting that time where it's just us football fans, us football fanatics go into a slight depression. We start watching. We start watching reruns of games on NFL Network just to get a little bit of a taste of some football, and then every once in a while we fall on a UFL game and we're like, that's just terrible. I'll turn it off.
Yeah, and I'll just be digging into the draft and doing mock drafts. To be honest with you, it's pretty funny.
So yeah, that'll be the next thing we do, and then our shows will go from twice a week down to once a week. Sometimes once every 2 weeks, just depending on how much news we get. So it will certainly. We certainly have an off season right now for us. Simply because our show is not really geared towards many other sports other than football.
Yep.
So so we'll take a little bit of a hiatus for a little bit, but we'll be back. We'll be
Yeah.
around. But again, with that being said, then we will see everybody on Friday. Don't forget to like,
Friday
share,
night.
subscribe. Drop those comments. Make sure you tap on that notification bell. Let you know when we go live all the time. Make sure those are turned on. And with that being said, and I think that's the rest for us tonight. So, good night, everybody.
See you later.